Guys, it's Jeremy Galloway, NPC, bodybuilding competitor again. We've talked about protein, we've talked about carbs. Now we're going to talk a little bit about supplements that I like to use. And this is some of the ones that I use on a daily basis as well. You may have a few that you like that you'll add in depending on what your goals are and things like that, but this is kind of what I use right now. Give you a little rundown of how I take my supplements. First of all, I'll start off in the morning with several different vitamins and nutrients that I take. I'll go through one of these up for you here. I take a daily vitamin. I think that's kind of a staple, just obviously getting all your nutrients and vitamins and things like that you need from a daily vitamin. I also take a probiotic, and let me explain the reason why on that. The probiotics help you digest food a little bit better. And I didn't really notice it as much when I was younger because I think, just as you get older, you don't digest the food that you eat as well. But I still eat a ton of food, especially in the off season. So I've noticed that, even though I may be lean or something like that, my stomach feels distended a lot. And it's just because I'm so bloated. So the probiotics have helped me digest food a lot better. And I'll take one in the morning and one at night, sometimes maybe one during the day, but I'll take 2 or 3 of them a day to help with that bloating and help digesting the food. And I've been using it for a couple of years now, and it really has made a noticeable difference. I still have problems with bloating from time to time, depending on if I'm really taking in some calories and those kind of things, like I have this off season. But it's one that I really highly recommend, especially if you're older and eating a lot of those foods, or if you're, no matter what age you are, if you're feeling that bloating, I think that'll definitely something that will help you. The other one, vitamin C, that was pretty obvious, especially in the off season, in the wintertime, things like that. Vitamin C helps keep you healthy a little bit so you can stay in the gym and train. Ups your immune system. 5-HTP, that one's just made for simply for mood and actually helps you sleep a little bit. It basically boosts your serotonin levels. I've been taking them for a long time, and I just feel like they help keep me in a little bit more steady, better mood, so help me deal with stress a little bit better. This one is what you guys have probably heard on the radio and also on TV, the Super Beta Prostate. I really like it. As I get older, obviously prostate is something that I try to pay attention to. Luckily all my numbers and blood counts and everything have been good on that, so I'm real happy about that. And I take that in combination with saw palmetto, which is also great for the prostate. I kind of double up on them. So, that's one of the things where, to me, I do a little bit extra than I probably should, but like I said, I think it makes a difference for me. So I use those for my prostate in combination as well. And so if you're getting, like I said, in your 40s, those kind of things, I would definitely recommend something for prostate health. One of the other ones that I like is milk thistle. Obviously, bodybuilding is a sport where you put a lot of stress on your liver and things like that just because of liver and kidneys and because of a lot of the foods and supplements and stuff that we take. So that helps with liver protection. I would definitely, or liver cleansing, I would definitely look into that if you're, even if you're just somebody who's not even a competitor, but you like to go out and drink on the weekends sometimes, things like that. That's definitely something that you would want to look at taking because it does help protect your liver a little bit and detoxify. CLA, or Tonalin, this is another one that I really like. It helps with weight management. It helps with helping you put on lean muscle as well. Reduce body fat. It's basically CLA is conjugated linoleic acid, and what that does is just like I said, it will help you kind of lean out, put on lean muscle, things like that. So it's a staple. I take that year round as well, whether I'm in prep or whether I'm also in the off season. One of the other ones that I really like is alpha lipoic acid, ALA. This is one where it helps with nutrient metabolism. So basically, it really helps out with, it's an antioxidant as well, cellular health, but also it helps with the nutrients that you do take in. It helps your body metabolize them more, so that way you get more benefit out of them. One of the others that I really like is vitamin D. Vitamin D is very important for a bodybuilder. It supports your bone, it supports muscle, your immune health, all of those kind of things. So vitamin D is something that's important. You get it from the sun a lot, but in the winter, in the off season, things like that, there's times where you'll be low on vitamin D. So I always take a supplement, and it really that's something that I think is a staple for a bodybuilder as well. This one is pretty common, but it's your fish oil or omega-3s. I had to tell you how important they are. Whenever I was younger, I had a doctor who told me that he'd always have or most people would have candy out in their front office. He actually had a fish bowl that had the CLA in there, because he said you should eat them like candy because it helps lubricate the arteries and things like that, and keep them from getting hardened arteries, all those kind of things. So they're really good for a healthy heart, cardiovascular health, those kind of things. So I mean, they are one that I definitely recommend taking on a daily basis. I take 3 in the morning and 3 at night, which is like 7,000 milligrams. So, I mean, it's one that I would definitely, as part of your daily staple and part of your vitamin regimen, I would highly recommend the CLA. One of the others is L-arginine, and I like this just because it helps with your cardiovascular health as well, but also nitric oxide and basically blood flow. So you'll notice it is in a lot of different areas. It helps you with better pumps. You'll notice it as a male. You'll notice a little bit in the bedroom. It just helps with blood flow, to get blood flow out to the muscles and the extremities and things like that. And it also helps the blood flow through the heart as well, a little bit easier. So this one, I noticed I didn't used to take it, and then I started taking it, and within a pretty short amount of time, I'd say probably a couple weeks, I really noticed a difference on it in a lot of different areas. So L-arginine is one that I would really recommend as well, especially if you're into bodybuilding. One of the other ones that I just started taking, just for the immune system, I got sick around Christmas with a really bad stomach flu right when I started bulking this off season, and it really killed my energy. Obviously I needed something to help my immune system. So I started taking I'm not sure if I pronounce it right, but astragalus, which is, the one I'm taking is 500 milligrams. I take about 3 of them a day, but it's really good for, my trainer recommended it to me. It's really good for immune system health and energy, which is something I also lack as well. So that's kind of my morning vitamin routine. As I go throughout the day, obviously I have my shakes and my supplements and things like that I take. They vary a little bit from the off season to when I'm in prep. Just some things that are in there, and I'll explain that a little bit. But I typically have about 4 different shakes a day. I'll have my pre-workout shake before I go to the gym, which usually has, and I just finished, I've actually got some more on order, but my preference is All Max Ignition. That's my favorite. I mean, I get a great pump out of it, great focus, and I don't feel like I'm getting nauseous off of it at all, or gonna get sick to my stomach, jittery, things like that. That's my favorite pre-workout by far, so obviously that's why I'm out of it. I'm waiting for more to come in. Right now, I also use C4 as well. C4 gives me a great pump. It's one of those that gives you that tingling feeling when you're lifting, which I really like, because I feel like, it's probably a lot of it mental, but I really feel like it's working. So that's one that I use as well. It's probably my number 2 choice. And then I'll also put, whenever I'm doing it, and I put this in all of my shakes, but glutamine as well. Glutamine is great for recovery, so I'll take a little bit before I go to the gym, I'll take a little bit after I go to the gym, just to help my muscles recover from the breakdown and everything that they go through whenever you're working out hard. So that's one of my shakes, and then when I get to the gym, before I'm finished with my first couple of lifts, I'll have my first supplement shake. And with that shake, I usually have 1 scoop of Isoflex protein, which is a protein by All Max, which the flavor tastes good. It's got awesome ingredients in it. It's a little bit more expensive. Not everywhere sells it, but you can buy it off of bodybuilding.com. Smoothie Shop here in town has it. Supplement Super Source, both those are great places to buy. And great employees. They do everything they can to take care of you, and they carry the best. So, and in my opinion, like I said, All Max is, I love them. My trainer got me hooked on their products. He's an All Max athlete, and like I said, it's by far the best tasting, best ingredients that I've had in any of the supplements that I've ever used. So that's one. I put 1 scoop of that in my pre-workout shake, or excuse me, my workout that I have just prior to starting my workout. And then I also will put in, if it's during the off season and I'm trying to bulk a little bit, then I'll put a scoop of Carbolin in, which is basically a sugar-free carb drink, which gives you fuel to help you with your workouts. If it's during the, if it's during prep, then I'll switch that a lot of times to the All Max Carbion, which has a few ingredients in there that are not included in some of the others that are out there, which you should really look into. It's a zero sugar carb drink as well, 6 source carb drink. I mean, it's something that I really like, and like I said, I like the taste of it too. It's probably one of my favorite tasting carb drinks that are out there. So that is one that I'll substitute for the Carboin by EFX. I'll substitute that in prep. Now, like I said, while I'm in the off season like I am now, we'll have this, the Isoflex, we'll have the Carboin, and then we'll also have a scoop of creatine, which is pretty common. And then I will also put in, I'll have that same shake with a little glutamine in it. And then during my workout, I'll have my BCAAs. And so this helps you with muscle recovery, electrolytes, things like that. Basically helps fuel you to work through the rest of your workout. And I'll drink this and just sip on it all the way through my workout. When I get to the end of my workout, then I'll have another shake. It'll be basically the same as our pre-workout shake, which was the Isoflex, the Carboin, or the Carbion, depending on if it's pre-season or off-season. It'll have a scoop of the creatine in it. And then I will also have about a tablespoon right now of honey that I put in there. And that's basically to spike your blood sugar, your glucose level, things like that, to spark growth as well. And then I'll wash it all down at the end with the Gatorade after my cardio. So one of the other things that I take that is also in the off season, or that I may switch to at some point, is the Ignition by First Form. This is another great glycogen, another drink to boost glycogen levels and help with recovery. So that's another product that I've used before as well. When I wasn't using Carbolin or Carbion, something like that, this is another great product that I like as well. As you can see, I use several different vitamins, several different supplements, depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing, what stage of the prep I'm in, or what stage of the off season that I'm in. One of the things that I also take that is a staple, especially in prep, but it's also the psyllium husk, and I'll go to bed with that at night. At night, I'll have 2 shakes before I go to bed, basically. I usually do the shake versus eggs, but I can do either eggs at night as my last meal, or I'll substitute it with basically Hexapro protein, which is similar to like a casein protein that's longer lasting, and you can take it overnight, so that way it's the last thing that you have before you go to bed at night. I'll have that, and then which is it's a great tasting product as well. It's also through All Max. Birthday cake is my favorite. And then I'll also have a shake before I go to bed, which is your psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is awesome. I was telling you guys earlier about how I had that bloating feeling, things like that. This really helps. So in combination with the probiotic that I take, I'll have 2 tablespoons of this before I go to bed at night, and it really helps. I mean, this even more than the probiotic, but in combination together, I think they work great. But even if I had to choose one or the other, I would definitely go with the psyllium husk, because I feel like it really helps with that bloating issue. And when I'm in prep, then I'll even up that a little bit more, because I'm drinking a lot more water. I'll have the probiotic. I will have Miralax in the morning to help with to help keep me from getting bloated as well, keep my stomach flatter. And then at night, I'll still do the psyllium husk. So you can definitely see a difference between now in the off season and in prep, between how bloated and flat my stomach looks during the off season versus the show. So you can kind of see what I take as far as supplements. Hopefully, depending on where you're at, what you're doing, you can help pick and choose some of these things that'll help you get towards your goals. One of the things that I wanted to mention, obviously some of these products you can find in some places, some of them you can't. I buy a lot of my vitamins and supplements at either GNC or Vitamin Shop. As far as the supplements like the proteins and things like that, I go to Smoothie Shop, as I mentioned before. I go to S2 Faction, the Simple Super Source. I also order off bodybuilding.com a lot. But those are the best places, or those are the places that I go to get these sort of supplements. The foods we talked about earlier, I mean, as far as your meats, your lean meats, cuts like that, yeah, I go to Sam's and I go to Costco a lot because I eat so much of it. But there's a lot of places that you can go. Other than that, you can go to Whole Foods, your local grocery store, all those kind of things. Same thing with your produce. A lot of people like to do the Whole Foods route because they feel like it's, you know, they like the way it was grown a little bit better with less pesticides, insecticides, all those kind of things. But like I said, you can get all of these foods from Costco, Sam's, your local grocery store, Whole Foods, all that. So that concludes the supplement video. If you guys have any questions on anything that I sent over, definitely message me, get back to me, direct message me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions and help you with your meal plans or any other questions that you might have. Thank you very much, and the best to your training.